Welcome back. Some 250 individual bond holders are warning government to back off any attempt to default in payment and abandon plans to push forward the date when it has to pay back their monies. Well, government on December 24 announced an extension of the deadline for holders of the bonds to sign up to the restructuring program to January 16. This forms part of efforts to get more creditors to subscribe as the nation seeks to make its debt sustainable as a condition to secure an IMF bailout. The bondholders are not going and backing down without a fight and mobilizing to secure their investments. Let's listen to lawyer Martin People, who was on the Super Morning Show earlier today, explaining the position of these 250 individuals.
Money back. They want the money to be delivered to them at the initial maturity, what was agreed upon at the time they bought their bonds. Like, for instance, about 4 billion of the bonds are maturing next month, right? Yeah, so those who want to use their money for other things want to cash out and do those other things, right? Yes. And then so they just don't want any new extended maturities. And if you look at the invitation, government will pay about 15%, 15%, kokwasa. No. The clients are not interested.
That's interesting. So how many clients do you have?
So far, there are about 250.
Wow.
And this is growing.
That's private jet territory.
Oh, no.
But Martin,
the law.
If I may, so my understanding is that these bondholders have been told that they may now opt in to the bond exchange program. It's an option offered to them.
Yes.
So what are you suing for?
Yes, so we are not starting with a lawsuit. So we want to engage government.
Right.
Yes, because you also find in the news, right, that John Kuma and other senior officers have said that if they don't come into the debt exchange, government will default. Yes, so those are kind of very serious statements, for lack of a better word. Some even call them threats, so to speak, right? Yes, so if you don't come in, government is indicated that they will be default. And so if they default, then that means you have to take legal action, and courts take some time. So we want to negotiate with government to just do the right thing by paying the clients when the time is due.
So this is not a class action suit per se. This is, you are representing people to negotiate with government.
Yes, failing which then we'll go into a lawsuit. Okay. So, naturally it looks like lawsuit seems understandable, right? Yes, it's easier for people to assimilate.
Yeah. So, Martin, the 250, are they individuals or these are corporate entities?
Individuals, natural persons, each person with a name and with their bonds. Yes.
Martin People insists that will not include the individual bonds. And of course, he's been talking about the IMF program as well. He's warning of some serious agitation if the government fails to meet the demands of the individual bond holders.
No, not at this stage, could you? What we are asking for.
But what option does that give you? If the person says, I can't pay, and you say, I won't agree on a plan with you, what options does that give you?
Could you? When the pension funds did the advocacy, people thought it wouldn't work, but eventually it worked. So we are also on the same trajectory. Government can do something about it. As I've said, for me, I've seen money in the budget. It's not, let's make this very clear. Ghana is not going to survive on our 8 billion this year. No. The 8 billion is just a small part of about 143 billion that the budget has, or let's say the Appropriation Act now, that we are going to spend. So just take out the 8 billion.
Our total appropriation is actually more than 200 billion. Our total appropriation is more than
revenue. The revenue
so you're looking at total revenue and grants.
Yes.
And then you have a deficit of about 60 billion. So that will take care of it. But you don't have the kind of power that the pensioners had or organized labor had, because they were threatening a strike.
Yeah.
And so they're going to shut down the country totally, and government says, I am going to do this. So what's your bargaining power? Why wouldn't you want to accept some kind of, you're calling for a negotiation. We're asking, what are you prepared to give? You say, no, we want everything restored. But your case is different from the organized labor.
Winston, it will surprise you. The way the people are so enraged. Very soon you see them out on the streets. It's the same thing. Organized labor threaten to strike, etc. It's the same thing these bondholders are saying. No. And these bondholders, it's not about party colors. No. They cut across everywhere. Right? So they are willing to come out. People are in dire straits. I'm at a loss for words. Look, Winston, it's not a joke at all. Yesterday, one of them called me. He was weeping. A man, no, it's a Berman soon. The man was weeping because it was like, lawyer, will this thing work? When? Look, people need the money to buy their medication. People need the money to pay school fees. You're going to have more dropouts. Why would you go building roads when students are dropping out of school? Why will you go building roads when people are dying? No.